This is the Mariners POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Seattle Mariners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Oh, man. The Mariners lose game one of the Atlanta Braves series. I'm going solo dolo tonight, so help me out in the chat because I'm starting to lose words for what to say about this Mariners baseball team right now. That's their fourth straight loss. That is their sixth of seven, I believe, on this road trip. Just not good enough. Logan Gilbert was fine. He was good. Actually, he's better than fine. He was actually good to really good tonight. I liked what he did, kind of bouncing back a little bit, gave you an ace-like performance. But it's against a team whose offense hasn't really been there for most of the year. Offense was bad. Like, I get it. It's a tough assignment against Chris Sale. He has a nasty slider. He has a weird arm angle, and he's diced up hitters for 10 plus years now. It's just kind of what he does, but it was still bad. That doesn't just excuse the offense being just pitiful tonight. Your top of your lineup gets, your top four hitters get one hit, no walks. So one on base from your top four hitters, which is inexcusable. I want to jump to the seventh and eighth inning. I'm going to do that here in just a second. We'll start with the start as we usually do with Logan Gilbert. I was really impressed with him tonight. That's one thing that I think is a positive development from this game, if there is one, that your starting pitching is not at the end of its line just yet. Logan Gilbert is still there. He still can deliver an ace-like performance when you need him to. 6 innings of one-run baseball will absolutely get the job done. I believe he had 7 Ks tonight. Let me double-check that as I look at the box score. Yes, 7 Ks, 1 walk, 1 run, 5 hits. You'll take that. Absolutely, you'll take that. Atlanta's on a terrible offensive team, but they haven't been great most of the year. His splitter was nasty. The first inning was I was afraid we were going to get another blowout after seeing what happened in the first inning. Just bases loaded, nobody out. But getting out of that with 1 run, and then continuing to kind of come back during the next 5 innings and get the job done. That was what we needed from Logan Gilbert. So if I'm taking one positive from today's game, it's that he is back to kind of being better than ever. Not better than ever. Back to being the Logan Gilbert that we expect. We need that from him. Now we just need the other couple guys to continue to do that. But when the Braves still had 10 hits, it's not like your pitching dominance is reverberating throughout your entire pitching staff at this point. It's just not good enough. Let's jump right to the 7th inning as we talk about the offense now, because you get a couple good at bats earlier in the game from Leo Rivas, who I've been incredibly impressed with since he's come back up. Honestly, I was impressed with him even when he was up before. You wonder what would have happened if he was taking the at bats that Dylan Moore was for the previous 2 or 3 months. That's behind us now. Dylan Moore's off the team. Leo Rivas is on the team, and he's making a difference, and it's great to see. Let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Randy pops out, bottom of the 6th inning, excuse me. Top of the 7th. Eugenio Suarez strikes out. Jorge Polanco singles. Mitch Garver flies out. We'll get into Harry Ford in his role in just a second after I, point out to what happens. Dylan Lee comes in for Chris Sale. Everyone's kind of like, okay, Chris Sale finished his day. He probably would have gone the rest of that inning had it been a little bit farther past his IL stint. Canzone singles off Dylan Lee, off a lefty, continues to do the job. I like how they are continuing to put him in that situation. Leo Rivas then singles after working a beautiful at-bat to tie the game at 1-1 in the top of the 7th inning. And it's just excellent job from Leo Rivas there. Another switch hitter. And then for whatever reason, I know Luke Raley and Chris Crawford will be the guy to tell you when he's back. By the way, he'll be back tomorrow. Just has some stuff with his other jobs to figure out today. But if you were to give me one left-handed batter to need a pinch hit against a left-handed relief pitcher, it would be Luke Raley. Straight up, it would be Luke Raley. Not Cole Young, not Dominic Canzone, not JP Crawford. It would be Luke Raley because he just cannot hit left-handed pitching. We've tried to see it. We have not seen it. I understand that for those who are defending the decision to pinch hit Harry Ford for Luke Raley here, I get it. And honestly, I've said this phrase so much, in a vacuum, that decision doesn't look terrible, right? It's Luke Raley, a very platoon-heavy guy who cannot hit left-handed pitching. For a guy that you called up, do you want to see take some at-bats? He's really good at getting on base. Move the lineup over so you can get to the top of the lineup after that. But the fact that you haven't used Harry Ford at all until now, and this is the moment you choose to use him in, is just, I cannot even think about what in God's name is going through Dan Wilson's head at this point. The easiest way to describe it would be he has a very specific role, and it's a pinch hitter for left-handed pitchers later in the game. And look, I get it. You're a contending team. You can't just give a guy at bats just to give a guy at bats to try and learn, the ropes of Major League Baseball. At this point in his career, he's literally just got his first call up to the majors. If you're in a pennant race here, which the Mariners are, believe it or not, of what's going on in the past couple of weeks, the Mariners are still in a pennant race here. They're still in wild card 3 as we speak. They still have a shot in the division because Houston sucks too. But the fact that you don't use him in the 8-0 Rays game, but you do use him in a 1-1, 2-out, a guy in scoring position, pinch hit only situation, that's about as terrible of a spot to put a guy in his first major league at bat that I've ever seen, honestly. I can't think of any worse at the top of my head. Like, you need this win, you need this game, and you decide to put Harry Ford in that situation as Chris Crawford joins the chat. And the Mariners are applauded a lot of times with their pitching development, which has, by the way, had a lot of question marks recently, which we will get into. But this is like the opposite of what you would ever choose to do for someone who's making their first big league at bat. We're talking about the Harry Ford pinch hit situation, Chris Crawford. We have yet to get into the bottom half of the 7th inning and then the top half of the 8th inning as well. So I'm curious on your thoughts. Thank you for joining us. I had assumed you were busy with your other couple jobs, but I know you have some thoughts on this game. So we talked about Logan Gilbert. What are your thoughts on just everything here? No? Okay. Yeah, he doesn't want to. I wouldn't want to talk about it either. Yeah. Faye says Chris Crawford looks like he has had enough of this offense. Yeah, I don't blame him. I really, really don't. But going back to the Harry Ford situation, I don't understand it. I really, really don't.
I'm going to talk for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
First of all, it's my jobs. And also, Anders, I appreciate you covering for me. This is a mental health day for your boy. He is very, very bad. So I appreciate it. This team stinks. This team stinks out loud. This team sucks. This is a hot garbage of a baseball team. You deserve better. The players deserve better. The only people I don't think deserve better are John Stanton, Justin Hollander, Jerry DePoto, and Dan Wilson. Everyone else deserves better. This baseball team stinks. The decision-making stinks. You scored 1 run. I saw a lot of people on social media blaming Gabe Spire. Gabe Spire sucks. Gabe Spire is one of the only reasons you're in the position that you're in. I'm not saying he was good enough today. I'm just saying that blaming Gabe Spire on this is like blaming a blown out tire when you just drove through a bunch of shards. Like, this is silly. This is stupid. Holy crap. The Mariners did not. Oh, by the way, the Mariners did not make Chris Crawford go bald. Chris Crawford's been bald since he was like 19. Okay, not that one. But because you know what? I'm not giving the Mariners the credit for my genetics, right? Like, I'm not going to claim that before the Mariners I was 155 pounds and that I had a full head of hair. I'm not going to do that. This team stinks. This team stinks. I'm mad. I'm tired of it. It's not good enough. Anders Hirst, I love you so very, very much. I'm so sorry that you have to do the rest of this solo dolo. I love all of you so much. We've got 21 games left. Is that right? 21?
Yes, 21.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Seattle Mariners. I'm begging you to prove me wrong. I'm so tired of this.
I'm curious before you leave on the Harry Ford situation.
Oh, it's a terrible decision. It's a terrible decision. It's and you know what? It sounds almost like an insult to Harry Ford to be doing it like that. It's just a terrible decision. It's a terrible decision. And guys, real quick, I see a bunch of you in the chat talking about who gave up the runs, who gave up the hits. You're 100% right. Gabe Spire is a major reason why they lose. What I'm saying is Gabe Spire isn't somebody that you can just say this has been a horrible year for him and that he is not someone who can be trusted in these situations. No, he was bad today. Really bad today. And it's my bad. This is a daily show. We recap everything. I'm taking out the frustrations that I had people asking me. First of all, I had someone on social media asking if Chris Spire is the worst pitcher on the Mariners. And I'll say, yes, Chris Spire is the worst pitcher on the Seattle Mariners. But gosh, damn, you scored 1 freaking run. You scored 1 run. And, you know, there were a bunch of lineouts today. And I would love to tell you that those lineouts are great process. I would be happy to do that on April 19th. I'm not willing to do that for you on September 5th. You got mistakes to hit today from Chris Sale. You got mistakes to hit, and you flat out didn't. I'm going to go throw up. I love you all. Goodbye.
Chris is probably going to throw up from watching this offense. I don't blame him. I feel like I'm about to do the same. Let's give some love to our sponsors, and then we will go through our unsung hero/villain. I haven't yet decided which way I'm going yet. I have a couple different options. But in the comments, let us know what is the biggest reason you lost this game today? Is it Gabe Spire, as Chris was just mentioning there? Is it the fact that you scored 1 run? Is it I don't know, man. I'm running out of things to say about this baseball team. They should be playing way better than they are right now. And it's becoming... You have now had a longer stretch of bad baseball than you did of the really good vibes, good baseball right after the trade deadline. So for a while, I was like, you know what? You know, we had a good stretch. We're going through a bad stretch. I think this team's somewhere in between. Is it? Is it really? Or is this who the Mariners are? And we just saw an 11-run stretch of, you know, them figuring like, hey, you know, we got our 2 guys in the trading deadline. And then as soon as things hit the fan, so to speak, if you know what I'm talking about, there's just quit. There's a bunch of quit in this team, and it's unacceptable at this point in the season. You're still right now in the playoffs. Why? I don't understand it. I really don't. The decision-making's bad. The mentality's bad. Man. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. Let's give some love to our sponsors here on the Mariners POSTCAST. This episode is brought to you by Zippix toothpicks. Whether you're looking for nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost, Zippix has you covered with their nicotine and caffeine-infused toothpicks. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy cravings and the hand-to-mouth habit without vaping or smoking. Zippix can be a helpful tool as you work to reduce your dependence on vaping. Available in 6 great flavors with 2 milligrams and 3 milligrams nicotine options. If you need an energy without the crash, their caffeine toothpicks are a game changer. It's definitely something that a lot of people have told me about, their smoking and vaping habits is they call it the oral fixation. You always have to be either sipping something or, doing something with your mouth. It's perfect if you're trying to get away from that and keep your lungs in good shape. You still get, it's kind of like a nicotine patch, but you still have that ability to have something and go through that same process that you would do if you were to smoke or vape, but you're not doing that. You're not destroying your lungs. Go to ZippixToothPicks.com. Use code LOCKEDON for 10% off your first order. Must be 21 or older to order. Warning, nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's ZippixToothPicks.com. Promo code LOCKEDON. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix toothpicks. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. And whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to get through your day, 5-Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. You know who might need some 5-Hour Energy? This Mariners team, because they never seem ready to play. It's always like, all right, let's try and, work some at-bats early on. But, if we give up a few runs, that's fine. We'll see what ends up happening by the end of the game, especially on the road. I don't know if it's the travel schedule. I don't know if it's the temperature inside of the cabin when they take their chartered flights, by the way. Or maybe they just need more 5-Hour Energy. And I don't understand it. Give them some 5-Hour Energy. We'll see what happens. You can't go wrong at this point. Maybe they do it when they play golf. Golf's all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape ginger lime flavor of 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the Bev card. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament and ends October 31st, 2025. Welcome back to the Mariners POSTCAST. Anderson Hirst here. You saw Chris Crawford for a half second. He has to get back to some other jobs, taking a mental health day, all that jazz. But yeah, this is Anderson Hirst running out of words to talk about this Mariner baseball team because I'm tired of talking about poor road efforts, okay? This game was about as predictable as it comes. Chris Sale, a very good left-handed pitcher. Yes, it's his second start off of the injured list for over like a month and a half, I want to say. And he still just absolutely dominated you with not even, yes, his slider's nasty. It's one of the best pitches in baseball. I understand it. But as Chris said earlier, you got some pitches that you didn't hit. He gave you some pitches to hit, and it was terrible. Rosarena, 0 for 3 with a K. Cal Raleigh, 1 for 4 with a single. Julio Rodriguez, 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. Bad night for him. Gino Suarez, 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. Bad night for him. Polanco was about the only one who did something tonight. Polanco and Rivas. Polanco's had a quietly really good couple weeks as the Mariners have sucked. It just sucks that he's the only one hitting right now. Leo Rivas, 2 hits. Polanco, 2 hits. Canzone, 1 hit. And Cal Raleigh, 1 hit. That's the extent of your Mariners hits for today. It's not good enough. You're not getting good enough at-bats, and we've talked about it so many times on this podcast. I wonder how much of this is coaching. Because you look at the 1 through 9, and we saw it for a good stretch at the beginning of August. You saw what these guys were capable of. And the fact that they just can't do it right now, how much of that is the coach getting them ready to play? And I understand that it's the players' responsibility to get themselves up and ready to play. But as the manager, in an increasingly less tedious job being a Major League Baseball manager, when you're making less and less in-game decisions and more is coming from upstairs, and that's something that we'll never know, how much of it is coming from Jerry Dipoto versus how much of it is coming from Dan Wilson. But even so, it's undoubtedly that across baseball, more and more is falling on the GM or the president of baseball operations, whatever, the scouts. And the manager's job is to get his guys ready to play. And to me, that's something that has been an issue for a long time now, even before the trade deadline. We've seen these with rain delays. We've seen these in road games recently. And as soon as the Mariners hit any sort of adversity, it just seems like they fold. They're like, we're not doing this. We're looking ahead to the next game. We're waiting until things start to go our way. And they, like, I get it. There's a lot of luck involved in baseball, but you got to make your own luck sometimes, right? By putting effort into the game. And it just seems like far too often this team doesn't have the juice in a battle, in a 1-1 game in the 7th inning. And I get it. Like, I expected more from Gabe Spire tonight. You battled back to a 1-1 with Leo Rivas there. You expect more from probably your third best reliever this year in a situation where he's facing 2 lefties out of the 4 hitters that he faced. Got 0 outs, by the way. That you expect him to get some outs there. And even against righties, Spire's been good this year. He just wasn't good enough today. But at the same time, your offense wasn't good enough. This is what happens when you leave yourself 0 margin for error. So I don't like it. I don't like where the Mariners are at right now. I'm starting to get really worried about if this is going to be what this team is for the rest of the year. As Chris Crawford said, prove us wrong, okay? Because for a long time, we were willing to kind of take the good with the bad and be like, okay, you know, we went through that 10-1 stretch. Your team's not going to play 900-plus baseball for the rest of the year. They're also not going to play 2-7 baseball like they did in the previous road trip. I don't know, man. The way they're playing right now, they might just be 2-7 every 9 games for the rest of this season. I hope that's not the case, but that's kind of what it seems like at this point. I see no light at the end of this tunnel. And like I said, the one positive today is you do get a good starting pitching performance. So that's something you can lean on going forward and just get something from the offense. But it just hasn't been good enough. It has not been good enough. And they need to bounce back straight up. It's over in terms of giving them leeway. Like, it needs to happen right freaking now. Okay. If you want to do something this year and not seem at the end of the year as an absolute choke freaking artist, then you have to figure it out right freaking now, Mariners. Okay. It's done. There's no more. You have no more slack to play with. Okay. Figure it out now. Win this series, win the next 2 games, and come home and take care of business, okay? I'm done giving you excuses.